Here you will see the structure of our video. We will start this video with the dairy industry in general. We are fascinated by milk. At the end of March 2015, the EU abolished the milk quotas for the European Union. Now, producers are no longer restricted to the amount of milk they can produce in Europe. This change opens many new challenges, but also great opportunities for the global dairy companies. Some questions they might face are: where to look next with mature markets in Europe and the US? And what different challenges might occur in the new markets? We try to answer some of these questions in this video. The dairy market is a complex market with many players and sub-products. The total worldwide volume of milk produced by domestic cows per year is around 550 billion kilograms. 70% is consumed as milk and yogurt, whereas 30% is processed further to more durable products like cheese and butter. The market is divided by some global companies and many small local producers and farmers. The leading milk producers are Germany, India, the USA, Pakistan and China. The highest growth potential in the milk market is in China, India and South America. This happens due to a growth in population, rapid urbanization and rising prosperity in these markets. Why did we choose the dairy industry in India? India is one of the most attractive future markets. Its milk production was growing around 7% by volume last year. The country produces 46 million tons of cow milk, which accounts for 17% of the world's milk production. The market is still quite unorganized, with an average cow herd size of only 2 to 3 cows. Main growth drivers in the market are the shifts in the still growing Indian population. Income levels have been rising, which lead to a higher purchasing power in the market. Besides, the fast-changing food habits and the technological innovations open new possibilities for the dairy industry. Rising awareness for hygiene issues and a healthier diet lead to a shift from unpackaged locally produced products to packaged milk products from the supermarket. The rapid urbanization also leads to a higher accessibility of customers. A big part of the Indian dairy market is mainly unorganized. All this offers great opportunities but also challenges for global dairy corporations. To use all this potential, some of the main challenges in the market has to be faced first. Now, let's take a closer look at the supply chain in India. On paper, there's a minor difference between the supply chain of the dairy industry in Europe and the supply chain in India. To understand the supply chain of the dairy industry in India, it's important to structure the dairy industry. The Indian dairy industry is divided into an organized and an unorganized sector. Private dairies, cooperative societies, and the government are examples of the organized system in India. The local milkman, with its own distributor and confectionaries, are subscribed as the unorganized sector. This sector is huge in India. The supply chain in India is really comprehensive and there are a lot of challenges involved. For that reason, we focus only on the cold chain. A supply chain of perishable items is referred to as a cold chain. The cold chain goes from farm until the consumer. All these processes in the chain are connected with refrigerated transport. The cold chain has become an integral part of the supply chain of perishable items, and recent studies have shown a critical absence of a strong and dependable cold chain in developing economies. A cold chain protects a wide variety of foods and chemical products from degradation, improper exposure to temperature, humidity, light, or particular contaminants to keep them frozen, chilled, and fresh. The cold chain is extremely important for the dairy industry to maintain the quality and hygiene of a lot of dairy products. This results in a smooth supply chain where time management has to be effective. The basic difference between the supply chain of non-perishable items and the cold chain is the possibility of degradation in quality and value of the product. This starts from the producer's place till it is consumed. The business verticals in the cold chain include the manufacturers, dealers, distributors, retailers, suppliers, exporters, and importers. All the stakeholders involved and its processes should be connected to create a cold chain throughout India. Also, the cold chain faces challenges in India. The challenges will be defined as inhibitors. The following 13 inhibitors have an impact on the cold chain in India. First, the lack of awareness about IT, then improper collaboration, followed by incompetent professional skills and high installation cost. We also saw that there is a lack of safety, that farmers are uneducated, that there are too many intermediaries, that there is a lack of standardization, and that there is no government regulation. In India, there is improper tracing, a poor infrastructure, lack of commitment, and there is customer ignorance towards quality. For detailed explanation, check our report. All these shortcomings in the cold chain in India were analyzed in our following research. With the support of some secondary research, we developed a model for the inhibitors. The inhibitors were ranked and rated according to their importance, what allowed us to identify the most important bottlenecks in the process. The corporate dairy supply chain in India can be simplified to 4 steps: collection of the milk, processing it as milk or other dairy products, distribution of the milk to supermarkets and other merchant channels, and finally, retail. The inhibitors we discussed affect these different steps in different ways, where the inhibitor may be more prevalent at the distribution level, such as too many intermediaries, or at the retail level, such as consumer ignorance towards quality. However, the power of these inhibitors on the overall supply chain is determined by driver power and by the inhibitor's dependency on other inhibitors. So what does this actually mean for the future of the dairy industry in India? We divided the most important inhibitors in 2 groups. The first are the ones dealing with more operational issues such as improper tracing, lack of quality and safety, and lack of standardization are the most dependent inhibitors. The other group are more structural inhibitors, which need a different kind of approach for a solution, for example, poor infrastructure, lack of top-level commitment, and high costs. Based on these categories, we can come up with some conclusions and recommendations for dairy firms entering India. Operational problems are easily identified and are feasible to fix by implementation of supply chain tracing technologies and large-scale standardization of production. This can be reached by standardizing packaging of milk, setting general standards for temperatures during handling and transportation, and quality standards for production. This will also positively influence the quality of the product and the hygiene standards in the whole chain. To support these processes, companies must implement a proper IT tracing and control system. This will help prevent the cold chain from breaking. Poor infrastructure and lack of top-level commitment are issues that need to be addressed in close cooperation with the government. Only a commitment on both sides can help to improve these inhibitors in the future. The dairy industry in India offers a lot of potential and opportunities, but first companies must face the challenges.